Welcome everybody. This is a Wall Street Genius update. We've got some changes made to the software, and so I'm Scott Patton, and joining us is Alan and Steve and Murray, and so we're going to get started. So hopefully you're seeing Alan's screen. Let me know if you're not. Anybody?
We can see it.
Okay, great. If I'm talking and Alan's screen's up, then everything is good. And so we'll just turn it over to you, Alan, and tell us about some of the amazing things that have happened in the last couple of weeks as far as the Wall Street Genius is concerned.
Sure. Well, some of the stuff that we found is, because we've been at this for a while, is that the indicators are working, all the stuff that we've built and tested over the long term. But part of the problem, it's a nice problem, is that we weren't spotting things as fast as we'd like. And so I got a quick report from a fellow that is a surfer living down in California, and so the market's open in California. The Wall Street basically is 6:30 in the morning California time, 6:30 a.m. Anyways, he's making his money and gone off to the beach before 7:30. So he's done in less than an hour. So he's quite loving it because this is his primary income right now. And you go, well, how do you do that? Well, he's making about $75 per contract in less than a half hour, roughly. And so how many contracts does he buy? As many as he wants. So he's making good money, and he's very happy about that. And he's never had a job for a long time. So I'm personally very happy to see that happen, where somebody gets their life freedom happening. So I'll tell you what he's using, and it's related to some of the updates, because now he says it's too easy. And that's not a complaint.
We like to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. That's been the goal of Scott's and mine for quite a while, and I know, Murray and Steve here, we all want that. But I'm just reporting to you that it's working. So here's the point of what we did. Is there's a couple of things. I'm just going to sort by the column that I'm going to talk about first, and then we'll talk about it later. And what day this is doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to talk quickly about the strategy that he's basically using to make basic like 75 cents per contract, which works out to about $75 per contract. Actually, people that know options know what I mean, but we'll just talk about this, which is, and I just picked this day here. He's looking at two things. Looking at how far this stock has moved already. In this case, it's already 9:33. The market's been open for 3 minutes, and these stocks have already moved, in some cases, almost their full daily range. But let's just look at like Baidu, because this is the idea. And I didn't invent this strategy. I helped guide it, but this particular one is a combination of a couple people's realizing some of the things I said and converting it into something that was simpler for them. So they're essentially looking for this D% to hit 40 within the first 6 minutes of the market. And I know this is not for everybody. I'm just saying. And that it's got good rank and possibly points behind it. And if it's got all that, and a couple other things which I'm not going to get into the details, they know that they're going to make some good money. So we're just going to go look at what's happening here in the background. So here's this one stock. It's hitting a previous high. You can see it's pretty close to a top. And, what's it going to do?
LinkedIn.
Oh, let me turn that guy off. That'd be me. There we go. I have that turned on when I'm trading. So you can see that it made money. That was the point. And off she goes, and you would have made some decent money off of that. So how much, we'll talk about that more in detail. The point is that they're identifying and helping identify the trades with rank, which we've had for a long time. And Murray, you've noticed that like a year ago, that rank was a really good one. And what else did? But now with the points, that this is essentially telling you that the direction on a multiple time frames is good. There's some more thinking you have to apply to it. And the last thing that we did, I know I'm jumping through a lot of it, I just want to do the summary first, and then we'll get into the more details of whatever you guys want to talk about. This is called Cornerstone, which is, Steve, the name that you gave it. So that's essentially the, for people that haven't seen any of this before, it's based on really sound principles of trading that we know work. It's not meant to be the biggest moneymaker, but it's got the highest probability of success. So if it adds up to 10 points in this, or 10 as a number in this column, it's a really good candidate for a trade, and you can spot it very quickly. I'm going to just see if there is one here. So here's a 9, which is probably going to be a good trade all the way around. And so the idea is that, well, how does it look on the 60? And we've talked about that before, and it looks pretty good. I'll turn off some of the tint so you can see the candle a little better. So there's the candle. It's right there at a previous high. It's hitting a 4-day range. So if we just go forward 1 minute, you can see that the thing's ready to go. And it may not go very far, but that's okay. We're going to ride it for as long as it's good. And when it starts looking bad, like, you know, the Y point is a warning, we're going to say, maybe it's time to leave. You would have still even made a bit of money on that. I'm not saying this is the best trade, but I'm just giving you the idea that it's identifying it very quickly. So you go, oh, I should go look at that guy. And the reason we want that is because we have a lot of stocks here. Excuse me. So in this list right now, there's 35 of them. And like, you know, to figure out which one of those is the best one that I should look at right now, and it's like, instead of darn, I should have grabbed that. That's what these things are for. So depending on the strategy that you like, that's why you'd want to have this highlighted for you. So that's not the trading rules. It's just the, hey, come look at me. It might be really a good time to go buy this thing.
So what you're saying, this is the stock raising its hand.
Yes, exactly. And so we used to do this without these columns, and we'd have to flip through the stocks. Excuse me. We'd have to flip through the stocks to figure out which one is looking like it's, you know, doing well. We'd also have to look at, and this is some of the other changes that are in here now too, is we'd have to go look at the basket and say, well, what's today looking like? And we'd have to do some thinking about that. Well, a lot of all this is now wrapped up into this business up here. Let me just get my little fancy highlighter here. This business up here, especially these two guys, they're telling us now a lot of information. So there's a slight green tint, and you can change all these colors. So, you know, if you don't like the tint, that's quite okay.
Don't change all the colors, because then when we're talking to you, we'll have no idea. We'll say, look at the green at the top, and you'll go, oh, I don't see any green, I just see purple, and then we'll all be wondering what happened until you say, well, I changed it from green to purple. So just leave it at the default until you're an expert.
Yeah, I forgot. For those of you that are listening in, I'm here with 3 coaches. I'm the guy that makes the thing the way people want it, but the coaches are the one that have to help you succeed. So, so here we go. Don't change the color, but when you're not.
But you can.
But you can.
You can change everything you want. Just don't.
Yeah, just don't do it though. Anyways, so. Here we go. This has got a light green tint, which is telling me, without having to go bring up another window and look at this and look at that, that is telling me instantly that most of these stocks are above the opening price. And this isn't a training session, but being above the opening price tells us something that's useful. And so I want to know that, and I have that now right there, so I don't have to look a whole bunch of places. I just know.
So you're looking at the sun, and because the sun has a little green behind it,
Yeah.
everything is kind of moving up. Green is up, red is down.
Yeah. Now there's another tinting back here. Now this tells us the strength of the move in a certain current time frame, and it's telling me that's pretty weak. Sure, it's a little bit green, but it's pretty weak.
And
So,
when you look at the daily basket there, you can see it's not looking like it's charging off in any direction at this point.
no. So you got a little red, you got a little green. It's now red's getting a little stronger. You know, it's not like anything here is exciting. So red's getting quite a bit stronger. It's got a little bit of red tint there. It might not show up on the webinar, but I got red tint here and some red strength. So I shouldn't be on the green side if I was in a green move right now.
Okay.
If I was, and we can go look at a stock, how's this guy doing? Well, it's also turned red, and that's the point. Is it's not just this guy. I bet you most of them have turned red, and that's what this tinting tells me, is that in fact all of these guys except for this guy have turned a little bit red.
Okay.
So you got a lot of information all wrapped up into this little bit of instrumentation right here. So that's a big improvement, and I'm going to just show you, because it's been another change. I'll just show you this guy. I gotta get rid of that. Okay, here we go. Where is that? Oh, okay, it's over here. So this gives us a bit of idea. You can see on the bottom of strength of the move. Well, now we've got more tinting in here as well, which is what is driving the background color here. In this, what would normally be white is this bit of reddish. It's telling me that the move is showing a bit more strength to the red side. Have to come back and look at the basket and go look at the minute log. All these things are very powerful tools, but we had to go look at all these different things just to summarize it all. And so this is where we're getting into high speed, as you said, Scott, putting up my hand for which stock, but also how is the market doing. So we got a little sunshine marker here, which tells us that the basket, the overall for the market right now is going well. I'm going to move forward a bit in time. So
there's some green.
There's some darker green, which tells me instantly that, because we know about the risk zone, I'm just going to make that large, that the basket is outside the risk zone. So for the basket to be outside the risk zone means that a lot of the stocks have been on the green side for a while, and there may be more green to come. And that's very useful information. And so I'm going to just go to the end of this day, and we'll just see what happened. And there was a bit more green. You can see that it moved up here a bit more. So let me just see in this section here, there was more green.
Right.
Okay, so let's go back to a stock, any stock, and let's look at this one, for example. How did that one actually, let's go see if we can find something that the strong point here, the bigger list, so we've got more to choose from. So right here, this one here, I've got good rank and I've got good points. Now for points, that's telling you, and Murray, I'm going to let you talk about this because
I think Murray dropped off.
Does a good job of explaining about the longer term time frames, which is what points are all about. Is it's telling you, and I'm going to put that aside so you can see it then. Excuse me. That this stock is in a really great position for a breakout to the top side. It's not just a previous high, it's a 7 days, trading days, that this thing is ready to punch out above. Does it have great volume? No. How do I know? I can see it right here. So you can
Or
see.
you can't see it.
Yeah, you can see this big brown. I just use this dark brown so it's really clear. That had great volume for this first moment of the market, but beyond that, this stock hasn't done anything. So it's a weaker choice. Doesn't mean it won't go, but it's a weaker choice. And the fact that it's got high rank and high points means that this thing could actually do something. It's a little bit of an old move, but that's kind of the idea is to say, hey, I just want to know about these things, and then maybe later today, this thing's going to go punch out to the top side. So, and it did move up, but it wasn't a great move as predicted because the volume wasn't there. And you can barely see this little bit of sliver in volume here. That was the end of the move. That was the peak of the volume, and also pretty much the peak of the move. And we talk about that in some other sessions. So if you move forward, we're going to wait and see if there's another alert. Let me back up a little bit so you can actually see it. So remember, we like to trade when something pops out of the risk zone. So I'm going to go right to the beginning of the move and see if it gives us any clues. So it's got a bit of rank. The rank is low because the volume's low. On multi-day time frame, sometimes it comes in a little late, but there it is. It's got 1200 points, which is a really high number. And this is where you're going to see some bigger money moves, Steve, is when you've got high points and it's sitting at the top like that. All I'm looking for is a decent market condition. You've got cloudy with a sunny thing, which means it's a mixed market. It's not fantastic. The basket tells you the details right there. It says low range, normal volume, so it's cautious, selective trading. And that's what that mixed sun and cloud is about, is just to say, hey, it's not that you can't make money, you just need to be a little bit more selective on what you get. But because it's got great position, and that's what points is really telling us, is direction is good, and it's got some strength going in the direction. So if the basket was good, that would be great, but the basket isn't great, which means that the market is sort of flat and sideways, and you can see that, and a lot of times it's in this risk zone because there's not much going on, and we can go look at a strong market day, and you'll see, everything's running up. Those are pretty easy days to trade, but we don't get that many of them. Maybe 1 in 4 days are easy days like that, where it's a strong up or a strong down day, and of course then you can pick just about anything. Now if we look at the long list here, you can see there's a bunch of these guys. So which one do you pick? Well, we can talk about that some other time, but like this thing's got good rank. It's got most of the things for a cornerstone move. Let's go have a look at that guy. The reason it's not 10 points is because the move is a little old and the volume is a little bit weak. But we'll just go follow this stock for a moment and see how it turns out. And I haven't looked at this day to see how all the details of all these stocks went. I'm just talking about the principles here. So if you would have gotten in on the beginning of the move, which is what we always say, you want to get in here. This is old already. That's why the 4 is there. That's been around for a while. It's not saying it's time to leave because you're still above the mag line. But this is not a good sign. The basket is still here, and this is how you can make money on the bigger moves. Is if the basket is still showing strength, that means the whole, well, not the whole market, but a bunch of the market is moving with you. So if this thing was already, see, like here, this one was a 7-day breakout. If this was already a decent stock and you got it, I'm not saying it's the best pick, right? Because the volume, skinny candles and whatnot. But if you were in this because you thought, this thing has a chance to break out, and it already did break out, there's the 7-day break. So this thing's already shown itself to be a good candidate. You could ride it a little longer and use, like, that would be an exit point right there. But I bet you if we looked at something that had a 10, on the cornerstone and all the other things going for it, that means the volume was good, and I'd bet that thing would move very nicely. So now this particular day didn't have, and that's what the weather tells us right up here, that little marker of mixed sun and cloud tells us that this is not a great time to trade. A cautious selective trading. So your odds of finding a good one, not so good. Any questions, comments, Scott?
No, it looks pretty cool to me. I'd like us to look at one of the last couple days because I think there was some pretty good movement in the market.
Yes.
Just to see that, but I think in terms of what you're explaining here, it's pretty cool. Look at the cornerstone, look at the points, look at the rank, and see if it's sunny or cloudy.
Yeah. So here's a day. I'm just gonna, so to speak, cheat to see if it's a strong day, so we can talk about that. And this was a strong day at the end, but you can see it was a mediocre, not real strong. It's so easy to pick good stocks on a strong day. The trick is, how do you know it's a strong day? Well, it's essentially telling you up here that this was pretty good at this time in the market, that it had normal range, normal volume, so you could find something here. A really strong day is super easy to find something.
So let's look at a really strong day and look at how easy it is to find something.
Can you think of one, Steve, that was a recent strong day? I think I know we had one. I just can't recall it.
Well, yesterday and the day before were both good moving days, I think.
Okay. Let's go look at
Wednesday.
There you go. Here we go. Wednesday was, yeah, I remember there was one that was like, wow. One was a great green day and one was a great red day before that. So this is the basket. So again, remember that risk zone we talked about where the basket was flat and then you've got this? That's pretty clear that you're way outside of the risk zone, which means that everything's running green. There's just no question about what to do. And it tells you it's a strong green day, above average volume. This is an awesome trading day. And so, of course, if we go to the beginning of the day, you can see, you got your sunshine marker there. But after a while, you'll see, and yeah, sometimes it gets to the cloudy because it's like, well, I'm flat now. So we're waiting for the market to do something. So it's saying, okay, now's a decent time to get into the market again. But you skip the flat part if you were just watching that. Doesn't mean that there isn't a good trade. But if we go look at, like, for example, any of these guys, they're saying that, so for example, this one's a fresh trade, reasonably fresh for CLR. It's outside of the risk zone. It's got good points, not fantastic. It's near the middle of a trading range it's been recently. So you say, well, maybe that's not my best pick. How about this one with a rank of 8? And it's a little bit higher. It's already an older move. Let me back up to where you would look at it. So second candle is breaking outside the risk zone. That's usually a good sign. So we're looking for signal color where it's outside the risk zone on the second candle or first candle. But if it's the third, fourth, or fifth, it's too late. We don't want it. So yeah, we've already seen that this thing moves up a bit, but how far does it move up? We see that's where points gave it to us. That's the idea, is that points are telling us that this is a good trading stock. And there was a few of them that were green. And this is before the market went really up. See, like here on the basket, in the basket, you're still in the risk zone, and it's telling you that there's a lot of good green picks to choose from. This is even before the market takes off. So if I move forward a bunch in time, you can see that the points have dropped off. The best time to trade was here, and it was telling you that while it was running up. That's the power of all that. So we don't want to be fighting the market. We want to ride with it. So at this stage, there's not very many to choose from. In fact, it's basically telling us don't get into any of it because it's just a little bit too low. You've got here, you've got some stocks that are going green, some red. It's kind of a mixed bag. So there's nothing here. So, anyways, you got to work with it a little bit, and then you'll start to see. Okay, well now I've got some with 9s and 10s and an 8. So now maybe I've got something I can go trade. So if we go look at this guy and look at the chart, I don't have signal. There I've got signal. I'm above the 4-day break, and anytime you're breaking something like that, and you've got, look at that, strong green here, which means that the basket is above the risk zone. That means we're looking at a strong market day. That's a good thing. I've got good green tint on the background of the meter here. I've got good power, 67. So everything is looking really good for a trade right here. What time is
Hey,
it?
Alan, can you move the basket window
Yep.
down? Okay,
Sorry?
good. Okay, can you now go back to, I can't tell the time, 9:50?
9:50. Yep, almost there. There's 9 right there.
Okay, we're now at 2-minute candles. Were we at 5-minute candles a few minutes ago?
Yeah, and so
Okay.
some people trade with 5s. This thing is set to auto change. That way you've got more data. But
Right.
there's 5s. I actually really quite like 5s.
Okay.
Except for
So
the first.
move ahead one more
Yeah.
5-minute candle.
Sure. Now look what you got here. Cornerstone 10. That's the highest it goes
Yeah. Okay, 10 is as high as it goes. 10 out of 10.
on the cornerstone.
Yeah.
You've got 12 points. You've got 9 on rank. This thing's like a great trade.
Okay, so buy.
Sure.
The good thing about our replay, if you don't know, is you can pretend you're buying. So we're going to pretend we're going to buy.
Okay.
And now when we move forward, it's going to give us an idea of a percentage, which is quite accurate.
Yep.
All right. So
Minus
let's
it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, let's move forward a few minutes. So right now we're up to 16. So stop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If your goal is to just make 10%, then you've made it, right?
Go surfing.
Go surfing.
Like Tom.
So now looking at it, we're an 8 on the cornerstone, 12 on the points, 11 on the rank. The volume is not excessively high, but
Yeah, turned it off. There you go.
Okay, so the volume is good.
Mm-hmm.
We're over 58% in the basket being green, and our sun is green, which would suggest that we've got a ways to go yet.
Yes, so you can hang on for the bigger bucks. Why? Because the market loves the green side today, so far.
Okay, so we've been in for 5-10 minutes now. How long have we been in? Does it say?
Yeah, it says right here we get on at 9:51 and the time is 10. So you've been in for 9 minutes.
Okay, so 9 minutes we've made 16% on our money.
Mm-hmm.
That's much better than the bank.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. So let's move forward a little bit.
Okay, here with 3 more minutes later, you're at 21%.
And we're still not looking like anything's going to stop moving at this point.
No.
The sun is still green, the 67%, sorry, my dyslexia, yep. And we're still the dark paint, the candles are thick. We're wishing that this was tomorrow, not a couple days ago.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're at 21%, because I really want to show how easy it is once you see something that's really good to make a nice little bit of money in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and so quite often we just say get 10% because you can get that all the time. But there's times, and how do you know the times? And that's what this is making it really fast. Well, how do I know it's a strong?
Really obvious, right?
Yeah, it's like, let me see, I got a sunshine here and a dark green, and I got green and green, and probably green's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, and you can look at the daily below. That's a nice green candle that's going up.
Mm-hmm. So I don't pay too much or attention to the points and rank and whatnot once I'm in a trade.
Okay.
I like that. It's telling me if points catches up, because sometimes points comes in a little bit later. that is still a good thing.
Now we're going above the previous high.
Yeah, and if it holds, because stocks quite often they'll dither and then bounce off of that, and there's human reasons why that happens. But so they'll bounce around a little bit near the previous high.
We're going close to a multi-day trend line.
Yes.
Okay. 24%.
Yeah. So like I said, and we didn't pick this one in particular. You're going to get some stuff happening at a previous high, but I'm going to back up a little bit because this is one of my rules. Is if you've been in a trade and it's going sideways for a while, like 10 minutes, I usually leave. That's just because that's the way things are.
Now it drew a dark, thick black line. What is that line? You can see it goes from 10:05. Do you know the line I mean?
This one here?
No, keep going up. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Whoa, go down.
Oh, that.
That.
Yes. That's the Y point.
That's the Y point.
That's the Y point, which is...
And the Y point tells you what?
Time to leave or think about leaving. If it doesn't
exactly.
If it doesn't get...
And it told... I'm sorry to keep talking over you, Alan.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles before it was like, oh my God, I got to get out. Right?
Here's where it told you.
Told you right there.
Hang on.
Didn't disappear.
And then back up to the point where it came on, which would be somewhere in this time frame. If we just said it was 10:04, for example.
So at 26%, it said, you know what, dude? Don't be greedy.
Yeah. If it doesn't break it above that and keep going, you should leave.
You should leave.
That thing saved me so much money.
Okay, so let's go. Let's go. We'll wait. Come on, baby. Come on. Number 7 for the trifecta. Oh, went above it, went down. Oh, went above it, went. Ooh, doesn't look good. Come on. Yeah. We're above it. Oh, darn. Go, baby. Go. Oh.
That's the time to leave right there.
That's the time you gotta get out.
Gotta get out.
You gotta get out. You're
what do we see up here? Now we're moving this really quickly. Now you've got lots of time.
Yeah.
Lots of time to get out, but it's already telling you here. Let me see. A lot of
the tide is going out, baby.
It told you even here. Red tint on the back says, we got something happening in the background. You really want. It told you here. It told you there. So basically, it told you right there.
Yeah, it told you again.
I told you again, it's probably time to leave.
Right.
At 26%. So it told you at the top.
Right.
That, well, first of all, I didn't smash and run on the Y point.
Yep.
I've got the market. So this is
around 15 minutes to get out.
Yeah. So the market's rounding over, even if you don't look at things like that. I've got the market is getting reddish back here, and that's where we go to our lovely little this guy, and see that red tint? Yeah. It had some red tint, dark red tint here and here. So it told you at 10:17. It's like, that was my first clue, and even back here, it's like, did you see here? Lovely green.
That's where it's going.
Go ride the green.
So what we're showing you here is the behind the scenes telling you that you don't need to look at, because it's telling you on that little where it's got the 6 and the I mean, this is what we're pulling from. We're saying, look at all those greens. Okay, that's good. And then it's like, oh, we're not seeing all that anymore. So the Y point comes on, get out, and then it turns like the basket is red. Get out.
Yeah. So if you got one.
Green tint.
That's kind of like the first one is a 10:07. Then you get another one. I'm not seeing any green love happening here, but I am seeing red and red. So what are we seeing? That the market's turned. Well, we got a little bit of green, but then followed up by red, and then more red. And
there's 26%.
Yeah, and you made good money. This is before it turned.
Right.
So if you want to gamble,
The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Chicken Little. You got to listen to him.
Hi guys.
The end is near.
It's
Hey,
Murray.
Murray's back.
I'm trying to train myself to plan each trade and to have a target before I enter a trade, have a stop before I enter a trade, and certainly have an entry price. Alan, thanks for moving that thing. When you got into this trade, I would look up ahead and I'd see that RA line. You want to explain to us what that RA line is and why everything went sideways when you hit it?
Yeah, that's another good one right there. And this is again the point is that we're looking at this high speed back and forth and all that. When the market's running, remember this is now 50 minutes that the market's been open. 50. We had bags of time to notice a few things, and we only get into one trade at a time. I have tried doing multiples, and it just doesn't work. So here's what I'm gonna go look out on a wider scale here. This is daily chart, so you can actually see the numbers.
Okay, how did you bring up the daily chart?
There's a lovely key for that, or you can just hit this guy here, where it actually, if you hover over it, it tells you daily chart.
Okay, what's the key?
F7.
Thank you. It's like a secret with you, Alan.
Yeah, well, no, actually, if you hover over it, it gives you tooltips.
I know, but
Yeah.
you could have just said F7, right?
Sorry, buddy.
I love you. I love you for doing that. It's like, you just hit a key. Okay. Thank you.
That key, yes. So
That key.
this makes it just easier so you can see all the numbers laid out. So this little green box right here, that's where we are, that guy right there.
Mm.
So that's our whole day, is that little green box that we're making our money in. So these lines here are pre-calculated. They're based on formulas, some of them published, some of them not, that floor traders used to use. Now this is the inside Holy Grail, temple of money at Wall Street, floor traders. They don't have them, you'd think, on the floor anymore, but they're still out there. They just trade electronically instead of on the floor with their buddies. So what happens is they pre-calculate that when the day begins. Let me just back up here to the beginning of this day. These numbers are there when the day begins. They are turning points in the market quite often. And we've got about 5 years worth of data. You can go test it. It's remarkable how well they work. Quite often the market will not hit that price, but be near that price, dance around it, turn around, stall. It might keep going, but you'd be surprised how often a stock stops at these prices. And like I say, some of them are published, some of them are not, but these are long-term, decade-long old pros with big money. They will be selling, if I move forward here, they will be selling around the price that RA hits. And if I'm going to go to the end of the day and we'll just see what else it hits, you'll notice that the stock dances around this RB a lot. And again, right there. And remember, this is before the day began. And we can go look at dozens, thousands of different stock day things, and you'll say, that seems to work quite often. It's like, yes, it does. Why? It's because there's people out there that are trading against those lines. So I'm just picking another one here, Celgene. There's a pivot price. That one has RA. Oh, look at that. What was the top price for the stock today? RA. So we call these target prices. It's in the lower part of this chart as well, so that you can see it on a multi-day. It doesn't apply to these old days. It's just so that you can see it a little bit farther out. We got all kinds of cool things that you can see these numbers more easily. So yeah, let's go look at another stock here, and you can test this all out yourself. Oh, here's LinkedIn RA. That looks like a top. So,
okay, go to the beginning of the day, because that's a nice, massive move. And let's just follow that along, keeping an eye on the points and the cornerstone and the rank. When does it tell us we should be thinking about getting in?
Okay. So you got rank of 6, And remember, it doesn't always spot out every stock all the time.
Well, this is early in the day too.
Yeah, but if I just want only one good trade a day. So if for some reason the indicator doesn't draw on this one but tells me some other one, I'm happy.
So we're at 7, 9, and 9, 7, 11, and 9. So
Yeah.
that's looking good, right?
Yeah. That's the other one. This is the one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
LinkedIn.
I'm sorry.
LinkedIn's got a 9 on rank, which means that the thing's got decent volume, and it's probably going to do something. But it's
no points.
Not fantastic. It's not our best pick. It could move well, so now it's got a 10. It had signal color here. You know, it's doesn't mean you can't make money, but you see
so
there.
Now, go back. All right, wait. So go forward.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the wrong line, which is why I asked you to go back. Okay, so it's 10 on the rank.
Yeah.
CLR is still looking better.
Yeah, and see, that's the point. Now, here's RA. We already know because we looked at this just a moment ago. It hits RA and it bounces off. No. Did it have the best points? No. Could you make money? Oh, yeah. And where would you get in? And by the way, like I say, we've got all the tools now. We don't need to do nothing else. Some people are trading. We've got a few other lists. One of them is that when a stock goes green over here, which is just another way to tell you, and we've got alerts and we've got all this fun stuff. So when something breaks above, I'm gonna sort it this way so you can see it easier, so it doesn't move around. So this is CLR right here. That's the one we're looking at. So when it breaks there, see it was red and green. When it goes green and green and it's got signal, and it does, so it's got fresh signal, and it's just breaking outside of the risk zone. There are people that trade that.
Okay, how did you bring up the dynamic chart? What did you push?
I actually click on the icon, which is right here, and there's also on the toolbar, of course, which is right, same icon right there.
Okay. And for those of us that get into the Wall Street Genius and then go, where is that?
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, so this is telling you it's a good one. We're in CLR. Can you buy? Can you buy it? And let's see.
I certainly can. We actually we already. Oh, that's CLR. Let's go. We already did that trade later after we did. Okay.
All right.
So if we go look at LinkedIn, that wasn't as good a trade. We could go buy that now. Same principles. So we bought it, and just so you can see it, we got in at 9.47. So right.
Did we get out of the CLR?
No, we hadn't got into it yet, actually, at this point.
Okay.
Using the other trading style. But this is the thing, is you can mix and match all your trading ideas, and they're all easy to prove and test out. So if we go look at how we're doing, we're up 10%. And we haven't hit RA yet. And we're just going to keep going. So where are we at? We're at 13%, 17%. You've hit RA and come off of it already. And this is again where, for that strategy, you'd pay attention to that and look for a bounce, or just take your money and see how it behaves. Well, here we go. What's it doing? It's going sideways. It's bounced off of it. It might break higher. Oh, broke a little higher, came off, went red. The market's still green.
15%.
You're at 19, but what's it doing?
The sun was shining. Green.
Yeah, now we've got what? Pink background here. So the point is, it did the same behavior, which is it went sideways for too long. You have a Y point up here, even though it's a different stock, right? It's the same indicator that says not so good. So you've got this guy, you've got the Y point, the Einstein fractal edition of that, but it's still a Y point that's telling you pretty quickly, not so good. Now you've got this, you've got that, That's what the little yellow ball tells you, is it says that the other stocks are moving in another direction. So you got a lot of clues. You've got the tint has gone half color, which is telling you that things stalled.
Okay, Alan, I have an idea.
What's that?
When you hit this, you have a massive, ugly zombie face come out of the screen.
It wants to eat your lunch, right?
Yes.
I'm going to go in their fridge and eat
Here,
your lunch.
everybody. This is time for fear.
Alan, can you go back to when you would get into this trade?
Sure. So, strategy, by the way. It's
now,
right.
let's say you were planning your trade and you saw the RA line there, and is there a feature that you can actually hit that tells you that you've hit your target? Is there like a target window?
Yeah, let's go. Let me bring that up for you.
So you're getting into the trade, and you know that if you hit 219.82, you want to sell.
Yes, and let me bring up that window. It's over here. Here we go. So in the, oh my goodness, you have lots of stuff here. What do I use? There's right here, alert my target breaks. So now what this does is it'll bring up, you can have visual things, auditory things. I'm going to turn on the speaker. So for example, I want to know when this thing breaks out of a dynamic line. So that's what this is right here. So I'm going to say, yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about my target prices. And so we're going to back up, and I'm just going to put this off to the side. So, and I'm going to bring up the alerts window, which is, where are you? Too many screens here. Okay, this is how you bring up alerts when it's, where are you, buddy? I've got this Google thing in front of me I keep clicking on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Web browser. So here's all the kinds of alerts you can have, different varieties. So I'm going to turn on speaker. You get to see, this is the alert bar. You can make alerts come up as little bubbles showing up in front of you. It's really about what you like. So this,
Tesla Motors.
yeah, so it's saying Tesla Motors and whatever else. So the one we're looking at is LinkedIn. And there's LinkedIn. It says, there's the little bubble.
Apache.
When you hover over that bubble, it shows you a little chart so you can see instantly what it looks like. Yeah, that's me. I'm going to shut me up now. That's the speaker. So it says, well, that one broke above the dynamic lines, and so did these others. This was the cornerstone alert. So if you said, okay, great, I like LinkedIn, I want to buy it, and I want to be told, because I'm going to be in the other room. So there's a thing you can do two different ways. If I go Alt and then hold down the click on the mouse, it drew a line called My Target Price. So I'm going to show you, if we say, I'm in the other room and I want to hear about my target prices, I'm going to turn off this other stuff just for now, and we're not going to want the visuals. And we're going to turn on the speaker again. Where are you? Alerts. Here we go. Turn it on. So there's the speaker, so you can actually hear it. We're going to go forward. Da-dee-da-dee-da. And get rid of this stuff too. I'm not even looking at the chart. I don't need to, because I've got my window here.
Alan, can you set it so that when a stock, you don't know which one, has certain points and a certain cornerstone and a certain rank, that it would beep?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. So I'm going to just back up. So it just said LinkedIn. I know it's my voice, so there you go.
Yeah.
There it is. So that ding ding, that bell was added to it so that you know that that's like your cash register. You wanted to know about it crossing above that line. So that's what it did. Now we've got a targets window. So like I said, there's a lot of things here, but you use what you want to. You don't have to use any of it. So you can go in there and say, well, 219. I actually want to know about it at 219.82 or 220. Tell me about 220. I want you to beep at me about that. So you can make it talk to you. Little bubbles come up. The alert bar just in the items. So the idea is that if you're making a trade, you want to go get a cup of coffee. You go ahead and do that. You just turn your speakers up. And you can actually have two prices in here. Now you can also, put your order in your broker. It says, hey, get me out if it hits this price or that price. But if you don't want to have your broker do it automatically, you just want to see it, you can have two different target prices. So you can have this price, and then you can have another price. So I did Alt-Shift and then click. So there's Alt-Click and Alt-Shift-Click, and you get two different target prices. And so if you want, you can type it in, or you can click on it, whatever you want. And so here's what's going to happen is I'm just going to run forward in time to show you what happens when the price moves forward. So red means I'm below the one price, but I'm above the other. So right now I'm in the middle.
So you can set one as a target and one as a stop.
Right, or if I have target 1 and target 2 on the positive side, well, okay, great. And you can easily just, all it is Alt-click, and you've got a new target price. So somewhere around here, I'm just...
So when you say Alt-click, you mean hold down the Alt button and click on the spot on the chart that you want the price to be alerted.
Top or bottom, yeah, as you like. So it's going to hit that price pretty soon. There it is. And by the way, if you don't like that guy's voice, you just record your own. Hey, gang. So if we go back, you put it your own voice. Hey, gang. Like that. If you don't like it, you go delete, and then you get the standard one again.
Cool.
So tons and tons of features. They're pretty easy to use in the sense that you just get used to them pretty quickly. But the idea is that you've got so many good strategies, and the indicators are all basically locked down. They work, as you can see, like the RA. They all work. It's just a question of what works for you, what you like.
Well, yeah, we looked at 2 or 3 stocks here, and both of them, I think, LinkedIn and CLR, stopped at the RA line.
Yeah. And I've looked at this for years, and it goes back decades. It's not like this is going away anytime soon. This is going to be around for a very long time. And the reason is...
So it's a great exit signal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And
go 5 or 10 cents below it, and you're guaranteed. Well, you're not guaranteed, but you're likely to.
High probability of success.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing too with options, to correct me if I'm wrong on this, is once they start slowing, the prices start slowing down, the options actually move faster in the opposite direction than the stock, right? So you really want to, like, if
you want to get out on the way up.
On the way up, because if you're at the same price on the way down, your option price is dramatically different.
Yeah, because the bid, because you're dealing with pros mostly. There's a lot of amateurs too, but which is good. The pros, they will not want to be buying from you at this point because they're looking at like there's people that have these formulas. Most people don't.
Right.
And so the pros are going, hey, you know what? Getting time to sell. I should get out. And so they're dumping their option, and guess who's buying them? The amateurs going, wow, this thing's great. It's like, what a great time to buy. And of course, we want to be getting out and getting paid.
Exactly. Okay, let's look at another stock, or move it ahead. A few minutes. Let's look for another stock that says, "Here's
make me some money."
Make me some money, yeah.
Okay, let me just turn off the alerts thing. where is that bar? There it is. I should put it on top, but there we go. I'll move it over there. Okay, so if we go look at the list.
Yeah, just move ahead to 10 or 15 minutes. So we're in a new.
Sure. We're going to see the next wave in the market. So we're looking for a fresh green trade. These are all old, so you can tell that just by the 8s and so forth. I'm looking for a 2 or something like that. There, now, Netflix, that could be a good trade. This has been going red lately, but it could be a good, it's not my absolute best trade, but it's looking pretty good on these matters right here. So if we just say, would you get it? It's broke above the previous high already for its day-to-day. It's not near a target price like RA, RB. I am...
Okay, let's just see what happens. Let's buy
yeah, and this is where people should be, enjoying the replay. So I hit the buy button and just get good at it. And it's like, well, okay, -6 isn't bad. Okay, +4. See, you don't get all worried about it and fidgety. It's like, if it looks reasonably good and it goes your way, ride it. So I'm break even now. How's the market doing? Well, the market's still pretty good, green.
You're above that blue line.
Yeah, so you see it's going sideways, but it's still inching up. Inching up is the key. Not looking so great. It's still sideways. The market's still green. I haven't lost any money. Not losing money is a really good thing. A little bit of a loss is okay. So, but you see, this is going sideways too much for my liking. I would be getting out. But what did it cost me to play this trade? Nothing. So this could turn out, but you're getting into lunch. We already know that this is not a fabulous trade because on the, let me just bring it into here so you can see it. See that R sitting here in the DD? That's telling you that this stock seems to like red on the daily side a lot. It's not our best pick.
Right.
And the point is, you know all this stuff. Just bing, bang, I can see it all right away. Whereas here, TNA, it's more likely to be a green stock. It's been green on the daily, and if I backed up and bought that thing, let's just see if we can see what that looked like. Because we were busy looking at the other thing. Okay, so here it was, you should be on the red side, and then somewhere along the way here, it switched up with TNA and said, TNA might be good on the green.
Okay. Okay, so now we've got a bit of a green. Let's see if we get a second one.
Yeah.
We got a
Now,
second one.
TNA, 10, 11, 10. What do you think? How much more do you need?
Let's buy.
Let's buy.
And move.
Did I go to medical school for 10 years for this? No. I'm looking for a 10, 11, and a 10, and a bunch of green up here. I have all that. I'm just going to move forward quickly.
12%.
And you can see here, Steve knows this, is like here you had a volume spike on the way in. You had a volume spike. You've got Y point indicators. This is saying not such a great thing to be in. If you want to keep going, you can. I like the fact we would have got more than 10% back up. You would have had at least 10%, maybe even 15%. So if we go forward and you say, well, I'm going to get out a half, get paid on 10, and let this thing ride, because I'm not quite sure. The market still looks good. I've got this green is more important than that right now. This is direction that you should be on. This is where, how about right now should I be in? And I've got lots of good green going on.
Oh, nice move.
Yeah, you've got the blue star, which is another one of those. Really, if you're making money, you should get paid right here. Hello. And another Y point, we're waiting for it to break above. If it doesn't, then we say, it's time to leave. But the Y point, the blue star is usually a great time to, if you started a trade down here, to at least get out a half. Well, if we already got out a half on here, what am I doing here? I should be going, get out. And so if you want to hang in, that's your business. But for me, I see the blue star and I've already made money. I dump half. If I already dumped half, I'll say sayonara. And at that point, what would we have made? 30%.
Mm-hmm. Not bad in less than an hour.
Yeah, so let's just say we sold it. So 30% in, yeah, about just over a half hour.
So Alan, you really like the three columns, the cornerstone, the points, and the rank. Is there a formula you have for maybe adding them together, and if they hit a certain amount, it designates a good trade?
Yeah, you're right. As I look at, if I get 20, if I add up rank and points together and I see a 20 happening here, I will give that much more consideration than if I saw something that was below it. And I actually don't like anything below a 20. And I could throw that together and say, well, you know, as one column and add it up for 20, but it's actually more useful to see them separate because it gives me a little bit more information, but maybe if Scott wants, we'll just throw it all together. But the cornerstone does not come on very often. Like I said, it's a lower number of trades, but they're better trades in the sense of probability of success. And we need a 10. If it's after 10 o'clock, you really want to have a 10 sitting here. These numbers can go above 10. Anything, you know, 10 and better is good. But yeah, I wouldn't look at, and here's the longer list of stocks. You see, like, you got a whole bunch. Why? Because it's a good market day today. If we go look at another day and you've got, like, you know, like this kind of stuff where you got 7s and 4s and you got nothings, that is so valuable. Most people that have not traded have no idea how valuable that is because they go look at the stock. Let's go look at anything here. Let's just look at this guy. And they're thinking, okay, right here, I'm going to get in this thing. If you turn off all the stuff that we have, just everything, and you go, well, what should I do here? Well, this stock looks pretty good. I'll go buy it. Now, we already know it's a strong market day. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just going to go buy it. And I don't know when to leave. Well, oh boy, I'm making money. Well, down a little. Well, okay. I'll hang in. Go up, baby, up! I'm gonna start yelling. So, because you know it's got to turn around. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Now, you know, we already know this thing here told us a whole bunch. We already know up here because of the 50 that, you know, you should have left probably a while ago. So these indicators collectively, and now they're all lumped together into a really easy, fast tool. They're telling you so much so quickly. And that's why, you know, Tom can go to the beach after a half hour and he's made more than he's ever made in his regular day job. He used to be let's just say a low-end job. Well, now he's enjoying surfing and he doesn't worry about life. He's enjoying his life. So the tools, the indicators are very powerful. But putting them all together, I'm just going to go to the end of the day. How did you do? You made a loss of 2%. But did you have a system if you don't have any of the tools? No, there's no system. So what are you doing? Well, I just feel, I think, I hope, I la la la. Well, there's no measurable way. It's completely art and intuition, whatever. Well, that's not repeatable success. But with all the gear that you have here that's been tested, and you can test it, you know, you've got so many tools here. It's like, wow, oh look, this is the beginning of a move, a good move probably. Well, how did it turn out? Well, was it really a good move? Yeah, well, you know, we had a few things going our way. And was it green in the market? Yeah, probably. And how about here? Well, it was probably red in the market, so I should have probably left around here when this went faded out. And anyways, I'm so happy about where we're at with this product now. It's just, I'm not doing anything more except a little bit of tweaking to make it more convenient and faster.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Steve, any questions? Sorry, Murray, any questions?
And you're not doing anything, but you're going to do the help files next week.
It's a standing joke. The thing I've always done is say I'll work on the help files after the product is like really good, and then I keep making it better because it's like, you know, it's not fast enough here, and so the help files keep getting deferred. And we're actually doing videos more than we're doing help files because people seem to like the videos a lot faster because you can learn it a lot better in 3 minutes than by reading a help file that doesn't tell you as much. So, and then the Hangouts, of course, are really useful. And you guys are the coaches, so you know, the coaching is so valuable.
Cool. Steve, comments, questions? Just say, oh my God, Alan, I can't believe how cool this is.
You know, I got to tell you, this system's amazing. My biggest problem throughout the entire thing has been just to trust the system. That's what I've found. But once you commit, I mean, it's there. It's right. The writing's on the wall, in green and red.
Yeah, yeah, well said. By the way, I have a few benchmark days that I test rules and ideas with because we've got data going back over 4 years here. And it's like I look at things because I'm silly that way. I'm very relentless. How can we make money on this day? You know, it was like, you know, the old system couldn't make money on this day. It could make money on the day before that, but not this day. And it was like, well, and that's where keep making the tool better. It's like, well, I don't have any points here. I got some rank, and when I say make money, I don't mean make 10 cents and risk losing $1. I mean, like, I really know that I can make money. Now, some of these tools don't work before January 2012 on testing because they're using multi-day data and all this really cool extra stuff. But you can tell here from what we do have, like the Cornerstone is telling you that maybe this, how hard is it for me to find this stock? I just look for the green thing. It's like, I'm going to sort by the number Cornerstone. And it's like, well, is this going to be a good trade? I think it actually looks pretty good, and I'll know rather quickly. That's where I know that the product is at the point where people are successful.
All right, let's go to yesterday on here, because I believe the day before, I don't mean yesterday now, I mean yesterday in relation to the day we're at.
Yeah.
Because I think that day was that a red day?
Yeah, I think it was a big red day.
Okay, because we've shown the good news. Let's show the bad news, which is really good news, because we have these things called put.
Yeah, so I just went to the end of the day just so people can see. Here's the basket because we talked about it before. How do you know it's a strong day? It's outside of the risk zone, and then it actually tells you on screen strong red day, low volume later on. This was great volume. That's what the histogram on the bottom is. That's telling you this is a great time to trade. So you got signal color, you got the volume, you're below the mag line. I crossed above the mag line, now the tint color went. Maybe I should get out of the trade and take the money. It's like that everywhere.
Great.
And
so go back to the thing that's got the Cornerstone on it, the beginning of the day.
Yeah, beginning of the day, here we go.
And let's just run through, and then let's just see what shows up, and let's just follow it. Corner is 7.
There's a 9.
And
so
11.
potash. Potash is we'll get it. It was popular for a while. So let's go to it and see.
We just want to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to it. But I mean, it doesn't mean we're going to be buying it right now, right?
No, but it's like it's telling you to look at it. Now, the reason that you got a 9 on there is because it's before 10 o'clock and it's not outside of the risk zone either. So it's like, it might be a runner, but I'm gonna just keep my eye on it. So let's go. Oh, sorry. Let's go to the stock. So now it's out of the risk zone. And the market's red. This is looking pretty good. It's not in the best position because it's jumping down into the range of yesterday. It's not in the best position. So we can keep looking for a better one, but we don't have time to hang around. Let's just go say, you know what? Let's just see how bad you are. We're going to go buy that as a put. So we're making money on the downside. So we lost a little bit. So now we're making money.
10%.
Yeah, we're losing money a little bit. Remember, we didn't spend any time looking at this to give it any good intelligence. Now we're breaking even, making a bit of money. Now she's running. But that was not the best pick. We spent no time looking at it. But the Cornerstone said it was, you know what, you should be okay. So let's get out of it. Let's go look at another Cornerstone. I'm being a stupid trader that's doing no thinking. Okay, we're gonna go buy this thing because it says 9 and 10, and I got green over here. I don't know anything else. I'm just gonna go buy it. How am I doing? I'm not suffering. I'm at break even roughly. I'm not hurting. That's my point.
Now you are.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm not getting crushed. And that's the whole point, is just like, man, you can do no thinking and not get beat up. Well, yeah, how about if we just like we did for the last hour, apply some thinking and we're making money? Because it doesn't take a lot more. Like, we've already covered it already, where you just apply a little bit of thinking and all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at that. That's maybe a good idea. We should go get that. How's the rest of the basket doing? It's going red. This is about the time where it's about to break down to the red side hard. Anyways, you can see it up here. Like, if all I did was just knew that little bit, I should be getting out of this trade at my small loss. Let's say I ignore that. See what happens. Well, now you're losing big money. This is like serious losses because I didn't pay any attention to the signals. But this point, the Cornerstone picked this stock to say, hey, you know, on the green side, this thing should be okay. And it's managed to stand up in a bear market where you can see everything here is red. And it said, you know what, you won't suffer too hard if you go to the green side. That's pretty amazing to me. And maybe I'm not explaining myself all that well, but you know, if something tells you that, you know, you won't hurt too bad if you're being an idiot, if you do this, that's like one test. Of course, the better test is if this tells you you should be buying the red side. I'm just going to get out of it at the loss here. You should be going to buy. I'm going to back up. Let's go look at actually a good one here, where it's telling you. Yeah, that was the one we looked at, PCLN green. I'm looking for something strong on the red when the market's red. So here it was even telling you for that same stock that we had that you should be on the red side of that thing. There, potash. How's it turning out? Not so great. Hasn't gone bad. It's just not. It's a little loss. It's a small loss. It's okay. But you can see here that the market's starting to turn around. Let's just see here. Yeah, so that'd be a loss. I would take the loss and leave. Why? Because I don't want big losses. I want small losses. Because I didn't do any analysis here. I was just being dumb and just clicked on stuff. And we don't want you to be dumb and click on stuff. We want you to make money.
Okay, so let's be smart and click on something.
Yeah, let's click on something that would actually make sense to click on. So we're looking for a good Cornerstone number. Remember, there's not that many of them. So here, Sears holding, thin candle. It's lunchtime. It's not a good idea. Might make money, it might not. Well, I'm not interested in those. I want something that makes money. This one looks better. Now, how does it look on the multi-day? Because we don't have that support. On the multi-day, it looks okay, but not great. So would I get that? No. This is where you're being a little smarter. It takes an extra half a minute. Well, you got lots of time here. The market's not running away from you. You want to pick the good trades. Don't bother with the junk. So if it says, hey, you know, I might be good, that means you look at it. You don't buy it. So here, we're starting to get more strength where things are starting to look better. It's still lunchtime, which is not the best time to trade. You might find a good one in there, but that's not the best time to trade. So I'm waiting for a good trade. I'm looking for a 10 on the cornerstone. I still don't have one. Remember, we might not get one today, but I want one good.
Alan, is there any way that you could go back to right before when it broke out on 4-5?
On a 4-5.
Right where it hit the previous low.
Right before I hit what?
The previous low at 4-5 at 12:45.
Oh, 12:45. Right there.
Yep. That meets every single one of my my rules right there.
Okay, let's see
Because
here.
because it broke out, got the previous low, just hit a new form of resistance. There's a huge 20-day break below, and
Yes,
the volume is.
I agree. So it's got 9 out of 10.
That is a trade that I would make every single time.
Let's buy it and see what happens.
Yeah, and that is a good trade. I was just trying to show a 10, but you're absolutely right. So what do we got here? We got super strong red market. Like, I don't have to go anywhere else to figure that out. So here we go. We bought it, and where's the? There it is. So you can see how it does. So you had a little bit of comeback. Now you're making a bit of money. 5%, 7%.
I'll get out right there.
Right there, probably. Yeah, there. I know you. That's where you'd get out, right there. So you would have made 6% in how many minutes? Basically 17 minutes.
Okay, keep going. Let's see what happened.
Well, I dumped the trade, so you.
I know, but just you will be able to tell if it turned or not.
I'm moving forward big, so it kept going, but that's because the market kept going. You see, you got out here where that red X is, but it kept going.
Okay.
So there's probably a bunch on this day right here, and this is what we're going to go look at. I'm going to go see if there's any other 10s on the cornerstone, or 9s at least. On the system. Okay, so there's Amazon as a 9. Skinny candle. There's Sears. Now that looks better. It's well below a previous low. Skinny candles. Had decent volume. It's got good rank. But I want to just get a 10. And I know I haven't prepped up all this stuff for you guys, but there are to choose from here. Lots to choose from. Anyways, I need to get going. So the whole market's falling off here at this point, or did fall off. So again, the trades a lot, and Steve, I do have some adjustments to make to the system. So I'll be working with you to make that into a 10 instead of just a 9. Using the math and the rules, but it's at least drawing the attention to the right things pretty quickly.
Yeah, I really like it. I did a couple of test runs with it. I think in the next couple, whenever you want to work on it, it could be really, really good indicator.
Yeah, very fast. You see, and that was the whole point of it. Is it's very fast. I'm not doing anything to the points. Points is done. Rank's been done for a very long time. So the corner system has to be just tweaked up a little bit. It's missing, I know, 1 or 2 things. I know for sure it's missing. But it's already really good at finding things. Like to say, hey, I'm here. Look at me.
Definitely.
Good. Well, what we wanted was to make this simple, to make it a few indicators that would tell us when we have a good opportunity in front of us. And Alan, I think we've accomplished that, and we've tested and tested, which is really, really exciting. And now it's just a matter of practice. So wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing this. Steve, any last comments? Murray, any last comments before we sign off?
Nope.
Thanks, Alan. Very helpful.
Yeah, well, welcome. Yeah, that's a pleasure. For me, this is like an awesome time to be in the product. It's like, yes, it's working for lots of people, not just, well, if you do this and you do that, blah, blah, blah. It's like there's like 8 strategies out there, and people are making money with things that they're tweaking and tuning that suits them. So like what you did there, Steve, which was like, hey, stop right there. That's a trade. And made money right there instantly. That's where I wanted to be. So thank you guys for helping me make this thing, complete.
Hey, well, thanks for the opportunity. I mean, without a system, it's going to be pretty difficult to do any of this.
Yeah, exactly.
So Merry Christmas, everybody, and maybe we'll reconvene sometime after. Well, Alan, you're going to be away for how long?
Just 2 weeks, but I'll be.
So in the new year, we'll get together, see how everyone's done, and go from there.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay. Signing off now. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye now.